I was one of the two operations section chiefs on what's now called the NRCC, the National Response Coordination Center. Back at the time, it had a different title. It was called the Emergency Support Team. On the morning of September 11th, I and a bunch of other folks had just finished up a year-long executive development program through the USDA Graduate School. So we were presenting at their annual conference on the other side of Washington, D.C. We had presented one session. They said, great, can you do a second session? So we were waiting around for that second session to start. And everyone clustered around the television when the first airliner went into the World Trade Center tower. As soon as the second airliner went into the tower, I told my teammates, I said, I have to go. So really that was my first memory of 9/11, is just instantly realizing that the world had just changed. And then I needed to get back across town over to FEMA headquarters, which on that day was a real struggle. I mean, all the traffic was trying to flow away from the Pentagon and out of the city, so getting across town on that particular day was tough. Honestly, once I got into the FEMA headquarters and into the operating area for the NRCC up on the mezzanine, it just felt good, I guess is the word to say that, because I knew what to do. I had done this many times before. I plugged into the role that I was assigned and that I was comfortable in. And then it was just constant problem solving, which really is at the heart of what emergency managers and FEMA people do. The main purpose of the NRCC, even in my day, was just to understand what the field was experiencing, what information they had already, what information they might need, and then just understanding what their unmet needs were going to be, and then pushing those through. 9/11 was just one of the highest volume, highest intensity events that we had ever worked. So it stressed the systems that we had set up. And I think the systems performed really well. All of the processes that had been set up at the time had to operate at max capacity. It's not often in our communal life or in our individual lives that we realize a chapter has turned. It's often just in retrospect that they realize something changed, but that was different. Probably what changed the most is it made FEMA and the rest of the country realize that we couldn't just prepare for the things that had come before. We couldn't look in the rearview mirror and make sure that we were ready to handle those things that we'd already experienced. We had to be flexible enough and responsive enough to deal with things that we hadn't anticipated. And I had an opportunity afterwards to get involved in some of the changes that FEMA made. So it was good to see FEMA and the rest of the emergency management community adapt post 9/11.